I love talking about new businesses here on the Hot Desk, and I am intrigued to learn more about Dryland Surfer. It's a Tramore-based business. It is run by Colin Moran. Colin is in studio with me, along with his uncle and godfather, Barry Musgrave, who I know has been a great champion of Colin's and of Colin's business. And we're going to talk about all that in the next few minutes, lads. How are you doing? Thanks for coming in.
Great. Thank you, Barry.
How was the Christmas for both of you?
Pretty good, yeah.
Fantastic.
Great.
Nice to relax and have a few, downtime, bit of downtime.
I know, it's kind of essential, isn't it, in this crazy world
oh my gosh.
where we're digitally connected all the time.
That's the whole thing,
Yeah. And Barry, you were telling us as well, you recently retired, so you're enjoying that.
Oh, very much so, yeah. About 2 years ago, I was teaching out in art school, Namara in Tramore, and retired just over 2 years. So.
Great. So plenty of time to help your nephew set up his business.
Plenty of time, and he's availing of it.
Yes, great stuff. So Colin, tell us a bit about yourself.
Like you said, I'm from Tramore. I've been surfing a very, very long time.
How long is a long time?
35 years.
Oh wow!
So
okay.
yeah. So it's been going on for a while. It's a bit of an obsession. It's one of those sports that you really get involved with and just stay with. It's in the blood.
I don't want to give away your age, but you've been surfing since you were a kid, right?
Yeah. So I don't mind giving away my age. 12. I started when I was 12.
Wow.
So yeah.
Okay.
So it was an obsession straight away. I loved it straight away. And funnily enough, it's in my family. Both my uncles were heavily involved. Even my uncle Barry here was involved as well. He surfed. So yeah, they were involved in the setup of the original surf club in Ireland, down in Tramore. So yeah, it's been there for a long time. It's been in my blood, like I said.
And I think most sports do go that way. I think, but I'd say surfing. Am I right in saying, in particular, you grow up with it, and it's either kind of in you or it's not. I'd say, Barry, is it a little bit?
Yeah, I was influenced heavily by my brothers, who, as Collie said, came along and were part of the founders of Tramore Surf Club.
Yeah. And
so I was, as I say, heavily influenced, and I came along and I surfed. But I've got to say, I didn't have the passion that Colin would have. The round football for Tramore AFC took all my attention as I got older, and I left surfing.
Okay. But Colin, you stuck with it. And it led you down a road then of getting involved in business, but you probably have more to tell me in between.
So it's been a while. I mean, the business is fairly fresh. It's only a year old.
Yeah.
So a lot has gone on since then, or before that, I should say. So I've also been a surf coach. So I was surf coach for about 16 years.
Wow.
And I did that on and off. I started that when I went to college, and it was really enjoyed it. Like, that was the first time I got into teaching, and I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
But also it's very cold in the winter time, so you get sort of sick of that after a while. But still, I'd always the passion for teaching people, I always really enjoyed doing that. So it always percolated and went around in my mind. So the kernel of this idea came about 10 years ago.
Okay.
Because I was living up in Dublin. And as you can imagine, not much surf going on there. And I was getting a little frustrated with myself. I was going, I've been surfing here a long, long time, 25 years, and I'm only at a certain level. I should be much better. A lot of my buddies who I grew up surfing with were excelling much more than I was, and I was not happy with it. So I looked around, and I wanted to see if there was a surf coach or somebody who could help me out. And so I basically came up with all this program for myself. I taught myself. I started filming myself surfing. I started watching, analysing myself, analysing what I was doing wrong, and I found it super informative.
Were you very hard on yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the best way to learn, though.
Yeah.
But in saying that, though, it was also nice. I was also complimentary to myself. I realised, look, I'm doing well here. This is not where I'm doing so well, so I need to focus on that. And again, I tell anybody who wants a hand, videoing yourself is one of the best ways to progress with any sport.
Yeah.
If it's golf or soccer, whatever, to watch yourself and see where your faults are, it's fantastic. So all these things sort of percolated in my mind, and I was like, okay, there's something here. And anyway, other things came on. I had other careers. I was a graphic designer for the past 10 years. And then last year, I got involved with the New Frontiers. Somebody sort of said that there was this New Frontiers program going ahead, and I was like, I hadn't heard about it, didn't know what was involved. Applied for it.
And just to give people a bit of background about New Frontiers, it's an incubator program run in association with SETU, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, that's okay. No, it's my job to tell people these things anyway.
So that was a fantastic experience because, I mean, like I said, I've worked as a graphic designer, but not really as a businessman. It's a very, you know, don't have to be too much of a businessman to be a graphic designer. You can get your jobs, do it, work away. Whereas this was full on, as Eugene Crean would have said, like it's like a master's, a condensed master's in 6 months. The amount of knowledge that's thrown at you. I mean, it was constant learning. I don't know how many books I was reading at one time, like, you know, but it was fantastic. And what's happened that, you know, sort of now that I'm a year or sort of half a year out from that program, this is when my business has started to sort of kick off and I could sort of put into practice what I was taught. And this is where I'm sort of at the moment.
So what does Dryland Surfer offer then as a business?
Yeah. So basically it's in the name, it's dryland training. So it sounds like a contradiction, and in a way it is, but when you go out surfing is a very tough sport for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's physically demanding. But also it's really hard with your to get the conditions right. It's dependent on wind, it's dependent on weather, it's dependent on swell direction, tide, all this sort of stuff, and time commitments. So you need to practice before you go out to capitalize on your time out in the water. And that was the kernel again. I was going, right, what do I need to do? I need to do push-ups. I need to learn how to stand up on my surfboard very fast, all these sort of things. And I broke all these things down into components and created a whole training program around it.
So is the training program online then? It's a digital program?
No. So what I found, like I potentially thought about that, but what I found was I originally created products. How I got into the program was I have products designed. But I felt that as I was putting those out there, I was talking to people and I got more traction with doing actually training bootcamp programs.
Okay.
And
what kind of products were they? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem. So one of them is a balance board. It's it's basically a it's like a circus act in a way. It's a piece of wood underneath it. The original ones are a piece of wood, and then it has a cylindrical body underneath it, and you balance over and back. Yeah. My one has it's a bit more advanced than that, but it's in prototyping at the moment. So that'll be a product that's coming out soon. I've also designed a yoga surf training mat. So that's to help you with a pop-up. So what a pop-up is essentially your ability to lie on your board and stand up as fast as you can and getting your feet in the right position. And that's what I've designed. So
that's out now, isn't
that's
it?
That's out. I have that at the moment. And I use those for my training camps. I find them very effective.
So your training camps are physical, in-person camps?
Yeah. And my point of doing that is I started off just doing once off, you know, just try out this pop-up technique, and I show people how to do it. Great. And then I meet people on the road, and did you do any other practice after it? Oh, no, I meant to, you know. So it's like anything. Training is hard, and the whole reason is you want to make it fun, but you also need to be a bit accountable. So I found the boot camp is very good because people go, right, I paid my money, I want to get the most out of this, and also somebody's going to breathe down my neck and ask me, have I done my homework? And I find that super effective. And I still find it that way.
How often do they take place then?
I've literally just run 3 of them.
Okay.
So this is my new year now, and I've got 2 more. I've designed 2 more ones coming into this year that I'll be putting online very soon and promoting them.
Okay, great stuff. And you do them from Tramore?
I do them from Tramore, the surf centre in Tramore.
Okay, great. This is all completely fascinating to me because I tried surfing once, was shockingly useless. It was actually part of a hen party. You know, so you can imagine that. But some people were naturally very good at it. Yeah. And I know as any adult who's never surfed before is not going to take to it instantly, I would imagine. But the thing that I find fascinating is that you can learn so much on dry land. I suppose that I did not know that.
Yeah. Sure, all my lessons were you teach people on dry land.
Okay.
I mean, there's so many factors to get out there. I mean, people are mostly worried about drowning. So surfing is not high on their priority list at the start anyway. But yes, so I mean, all this stuff can be done on land. Yeah. Then you just need to practice it and perfect it on.
It's there to get your technique sorted out on dry land when you're nice and warm, nice and dry.
Yeah.
And it just becomes second nature to you then when you're out at sea and the wave comes and all the factors are combining, the wind, the tide, everything like that. And it's just second nature. You pop up, jump up on your board.
And I suppose it hammers home what good exercise it is as well, because it sounds like there's a lot of core work there.
It's a full-on body workout. I mean, to give you an idea, you go out surfing for 2 hours, let's say. If you go out surfing, you might stand up for 5 minutes if you're a very good surfer. The rest is paddling around, battling the elements, so you need to be fit.
Okay, Barry, I want to talk to you because, I have to say you're the person who reached out to me to tell me about Colin, which is brilliant. And, it's lovely to have such an advocate
Absolutely.
in your
Very
family like
appreciative.
that, Colin. I'm sure he's not the only one, but
No.
it is great. So you were delighted, I suppose, to see Colin get this business up and running, and you did provide a lot of support.
I did. Colin has had a few business ideas in various guises and over the years, and helped him out, but they never came to anything. But when Collie came to me with this one, I could see there was a lot of substance to it. And he was very, very determined and continued to be determined. And I tried to put a few barriers in his way just to see. I'd never told him this before, but just to see how.
You heard it here first on the podcast.
It's all coming out.
But just to see how he would deal with these, and he still pursued it. And then it became the New Frontiers program really helped him. I got in touch with somebody, or a colleague got in touch with somebody in SETU to do with copyright. Really, it was Leo put me in touch with got me the name of the person, and Collie got in touch, and it developed from there. And really, he's extremely determined about this, and it's great to be helped. I have been a teacher for the last 20 years, but prior to that, I worked in business myself for about 20 years as well.
And I know you're happily retired, and I don't want to be suggesting now you take on new work when you're retired, but would you consider in your retirement maybe kind of doing more of this? Because it seems to be something you have a passion for.
I do. I do. I enjoy it. And I've a fair bit of knowledge about business startups and just looking after the running of business, the administration and that. So it was great to have Collie there.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Just brought back some old talents or skills that I thought had disappeared and reintroduced them back to me.
And I know you're at startup stage, but it does sound like your company is very multifaceted, Colin, between, like I said, the products that you sell and now your boot camps. And, I suppose your uncle's a teacher. There's a bit of that in your blood, obviously, as well.
Yeah, I lectured before and I taught before. So it's sort of in there. I've always had a grow for it. So I feel that this is the right direction.
And you're combining a lot of talents, obviously, as well. First and foremost, I suppose, your ability to surf. If you didn't have that, none of this would exist. Tell me where people can find out more about Dryland Surfer.
So I have my website. It's drylandsurfer.com, but I'm on all the other socials. I'm on YouTube, Dryland Surfer. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok.
TikTok as well.
Facebook as well. All Dryland Surfer.
All the social media platforms.
Exactly.
And if people want to get involved in your boot camps, learn more about your products, it's all on.
Absolutely.
On those.
Just please contact me. Yeah, no worries, and I'll sort you out.
Okay, Colin Moran, founder of Dryland Surfer, and Uncle Barry Musgrave.
It's a while since I've been called uncle.
Mentor extraordinaire and uncle and godfather, of course, to Colin. Thank you so much to both of you for coming in. That was great.
Thank you very much, Mary.